Hey,
I'm David, and we're work spouses. Yep, you heard it right, but not the type that you're thinking of.
we realize you spend more time with people at work than you do with the people you love most.
We're going to discuss the interactions such as the games played at work, building the right and avoiding the wrong relationships. D'Angelo and I, we're currently work spouses.
Join us each week as we testify, help, and complain about work in corporate America. Welcome back, coworkers.
We're here.
We are officially here at our last podcast of the
2019?
2019.
Yes. Time to take a
We are
short
going into-
holiday break.
Yes, we're going to take a holiday break because this is the last one. And next week is Christmas.
Yes.
So, Merry Christmas. I wore my ugly sweater here. I felt that I should be festive.
It's not that ugly, but okay.
My ugly sweater dress, rather.
Okay.
Well, this is what it was called on Amazon when I ordered it. So, it was the ugly sweater dress.
What makes a sweater ugly? I mean, like,
I don't know.
Is
I
it
guess all the
supposed to be-
bows and bells and whistles and crap and stuff. And granted, that doesn't have that, but it's ugly because look
Yeah.
how much stuff is on here that's not like a cohesive design.
yeah, I can see it being cheesy a little bit.
Cheesy, yeah. So let's get into our cocktails. Last cocktail of the year. Everything is the last. Last cocktail, last taping, last everything.
Looks like something's already in there.
Yes, I have some ginger beer in your glass.
Okay.
And the cocktail here, this holiday cocktail, which we're ending out holiday cocktails thanks to me. Woo, I'm so glad.
You did a good job.
Thank you. It was a lot
this
of
year.
work.
Yeah.
This is the Gin Mule, and it has about 20 mint leaves muddled inside of this shaker because you thought it was spinach.
I thought it was spinach. Yeah, show the audience. The ones
And
that are going live stream.
it's
Okay.
simple syrup, lime juice, gin. Your ginger beer is already in your glass. So let's pour it up. And I know you said you're taking it easy because
I'm
clearly
taking it easy.
David has had too many holiday parties that
Yeah. So
I'm not taking it easy. So I'm just going.
I got it.
I went out for drinks last night, and here I am again here. But this is what you do in the holidays.
This is what you do in the
I don't
holidays.
drink like this all the time. Why not do it now? So yes,
Oh, it smells good.
it smells good.
Yeah.
Okay, cheers.
Okay, cheers. That's loud.
Well,
What?
it's glass.
Okay, make sure you drink it.
Tastes just like mint gin mule. This is good.
Okay.
This
Yeah,
is-
it's a different. I mean,
Yeah.
that's good. Each week, it's a different feel, a different flavor.
Do you like
Yeah.
that or do you not
This
like
is,
that? What you think, David?
Seems safe. Yeah,
Yeah,
that seems safe.
I got ginger beer here for you. I put a little bit more in yours because you're fake acting like you don't want to have cocktails on the last episode and during the holiday season. Who says that?
Well, sometimes you just, when you get a little older, you shouldn't just. You got to move.
Moderation.
You
I
got to
get
move
it.
her from the fast lane and maybe get into that second.
You were in the
lane.
fast lane? I never consider you in the fast lane.
There's been times.
Clearly, it's
in my life.
in a week you
that-
have been in the fast
that I've
lane
been
quite
in the
often.
fast lane. Yeah. So it's like you gotta know what lane that you should be in. You can't stay in the fast lane your whole life.
No, I agree. It's
reckless.
So this week,
This week, so we are gonna talk about holiday party shenanigans, and this is the holiday season, and things happen, and we get invites, and we're doing all kind of things in the office, and some things offsite. But before
offsite. Oh,
offsite, right? Yeah. But before, you do some remote work. But before we jump into that, we're going to touch up on last week's topic because
Oh yes.
there's still some information that we want to just discuss and explore, some additional thoughts when we were talking about justifying dysfunction, especially, you justify dysfunctions in relationships, and we already talked about work, but it seems like you want to talk about more justifying dysfunctions in your relationships that you have, either with the partner, with your family member. What are your thoughts? What were your walkaway thoughts or anything that you want to...
Regarding family, so I actually saw this meme
Okay.
from our social media from one of the psychologists or something that we follow from our account on social media, Work Spouse Pod. on Instagram, and it said, "Unresolved trauma makes us seek romantic partners to repair our parental relationship.
Okay.
We engage in fixing or saving even if all the red flags are there because red flags feel like home."
That's good.
Right?
Yeah.
I thought
I
so.
like
That's
that.
why I brought
Okay.
this to your. I wanted to
Yeah.
tell you what I saw because I was like, this was an interesting meme. Well, post wasn't
Right.
necessary, whatever you want to consider it. But I was like, wow. So just to read that again, it says, "Unresolved trauma makes us seek romantic partners to repair our parental relationship. We engage in fixing or saving even if all red flags are there because red flags feel like home." And this goes
Okay.
back
Yeah.
to my point of what
Yeah.
I was saying,
Okay.
how dysfunction typically start from your family. Remember,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
my ending point was like, your all of your dysfunction or all of the things about you stem from your family and how you were brought up, raised, the things that you saw. And I thought about it more. I'm just like, are we all just, and I don't know if, my point that I'm about to make is valid or not, but are we all dysfunctional people looking at other dysfunctional people and just finding people who match our dysfunction?
I mean, there is some of that, but then also in reading that quote, it made me think how you're comfortable in your dysfunction,
Yes.
and it's you're familiar with that state, and sometimes even though we recognize it, it doesn't mean that everybody wants to change it,
Yeah.
and then we complain about it, but you
We
still
don't
don't
do
want to
anything
change
about
it.
it.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I could see that. You look for.
So you said, because it was something you said. You said, just a second, God, just forgot it that quick. About like, even though we have our own dysfunction, we recognize it. Sometimes we do, and sometimes we don't recognize it. But when we do recognize it, we choose to not acknowledge it. We choose to lie about it.
Okay.
Like, because I think this is dishonesty, and that's kind of like my idea of honesty in a relationship. You know that there's dysfunction, and someone is saying something to you. It's sometimes not the first time you've heard it about yourself, but you choose not to acknowledge it because you think that you try to make the person feel like their points aren't valid because they don't know you or your history.
Okay. Right.
So it's like, I can't tell David about himself because I haven't been with David,
Right.
like throughout his entire life. But you can recognize some of the things that I'm saying that others have said too or point out that
Right.
may be considered triggers.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to being able to take criticism. So it's like, can you take criticism? What is more difficult for you to take criticism about a work task that you do, or to take criticism about a personality in a relationship, like a personality that your partner has an issue with, something that you do?
I'm again going
Okay.
back. I'm equal.
Okay.
It just depends on really how you bring the critique
Okay.
to me.
Okay.
Because then at that point it's like, do you want me to improve? Because then we go into a layer of like, do you want me to improve as your spouse or partner or friend or whomever? Or do you really just want to just crap all over me about how different I am from you? Because there's two different resolutions there.
So then we're gonna go a little deeper too. So then
Okay.
sometimes it's like, okay, so we're in a relationship, and I'm telling you, like, there's some things about you that's dysfunctional.
That's not the great way to start a
that's not the
conversation.
best way. That's not the best way to say it. But you could take offense, or am I saying it? Because sometimes you can see it. Oh, I'm trying to say it because I'm trying to make you a certain way. I want you to fit this mold. I want you to fit my last girlfriend. I want you to
Right.
be this person. Or am I saying it because it's honest, unbiased criticism? I've been, sleeping with you, living with you, loving on you for the last year and a half. This is what I noticed. Of course, I have to package it up the correct way so you can receive it.
That's true. But that's with all messages though. Like you have to package them up. I've learned Just being on 3 decades on this earth, you have to package everything in a way
You do
that
have to package
it has to
everything.
be
Yeah.
well received. Unfortunately, you really do have to do that in order for someone to actually receive the criticism and it actually to be positive feedback and not, again, like the person's crapping all over them and their personality or the disadvantages, you know?
Right. Because men and women, but especially men, we don't want to be changed. Like in terms of like, don't change me. This is the way I was. Why are you trying to change me? I'm not trying to be this. I'm not trying to be this person. I'm not trying to be this. But at the same time, we have to be able to receive the package as, well, you know what, this is not an attack on you. It's like, I want to make you more healthy as an individual. As a
But
human.
then we go into, how do I know your healthy is my healthy?
Okay. Ooh,
So
okay.
it's like, so it's hard to determine that. And what I think we do most as human beings when we enter in relationships is we try to get people, and I think I mentioned this before, to fit in our puzzle instead of accepting them as the piece that don't fit sometimes. So it's even like it's the piece that don't fit into the puzzle, but you then at some point have to say, okay, I can start a new puzzle and then allow this puzzle piece to fit.
Right.
But sometimes we don't do that as people. We find people who fit into our puzzle and say, this is right, because they fit on every accord of mine.
Yeah. And that's why, even when you're in relationships, like if you're hiring someone and, I want to take it to work too. So if you're hiring someone and you want them to be this director for this department that's in need of some good guidance and vision, you do have to ask about their history. Like, what is their work approach? What is their management style? Things like that. I want you to lead this team. I need to know these. I need to know your work history.
Similar to a relationship, you get to know. Yeah,
I need to know your history. I mean, and that's why, in order to go forward with anyone,
yes,
and even in order to go forward with yourself,
yes,
I gotta, like you first said in the quote, you gotta look at the past. What happened at grandma's house growing up. What happened at, growing up in your own household when you were from, toddler to...
And some things that you have to acknowledge that you're willing to change. Like, you have to be willing to change in each encounter. And most people don't feel like they need to, because sometimes a relationship, depending on how it ends, can do that person a disservice. So if it wasn't their fault, they feel like, well, I was okay. But you still needed to learn some things and how you manage something within that relationship that will have to change in your next relationship.
Yeah.
Because you're dealing with a total different person. So you always have to change. But some people do themselves a disservice because if it was never their fault or someone did something, they just automatically assume they are good, they are in the clear.
Right.
They don't have to, adjust or adapt to a new person.
Right.
And that can be a disservice to a new relationship because they just automatically like, well, I was good in my last one, so
Right.
ain't nothing gonna be different in this one. I'm just gonna keep doing me and how I do me.
True.
But that's not a good approach in my opinion. That's not like a healthy approach, rather.
I agree because I know somebody said, well, either you love me or leave me. You're like, love it or leave it. So
I don't like that.
yeah, because that means I'm gonna be this way, and I'm. And
You
like
got to
said,
fit it. You got you got to get on board or get off the train, get off the bus, as Stevie J was saying.
Right. So then that means, and that goes into like, so then people that don't want to change, do you just think you're perfect, or do you?
Well, I think so. The thing about the dysfunction in family is that, like, because someone came from a family of dysfunction, either they recognize there was dysfunction and they make the corrective actions, or they don't recognize their dysfunction until they continue to go through life and date other people who give them a different perspective, and or those relationships don't become in a harmonious way. So it make them then self-reflect.
Right. Okay. So and I made me think of something. So it's like, I mean, there's two ways to look at it. Like growing up, some parents, they'd be like, they don't want you to go to your friend's house.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Sometimes you may not want them to see the way they live because there could be a fear
Yes.
of something negative, but then also there could be a fear of something positive. They could see that, hey, what we're doing, is kind of
Different.
backwards,
Oh, okay.
So it's like, I don't want you to see the way other things are, so you don't have nothing to compare it to.
Okay, so it's like they're trying to protect them, but really not protecting them.
Yeah,
It's kind of
'cause
safeguarding them.
Right.
I can understand protecting for the safety,
Right.
but not protecting them because, you don't want them to see. It's like almost like saying, oh, they don't know anything about sex, so they never seen their dad and I have sex, and you're like, yeah, they've heard you or seen, like,
Right.
you're oblivious. You're oblivious to the fact that they know more than what they let on.
Right. So how about like if I grew up and let's say in my household, we didn't eat together, and there was like it was more like mom made the dinner.
Everyone with their separate ways.
7:30, and
Okay.
everybody ate on their own whatever they were ready to eat.
Okay.
So I go to my friends out down the street. Oh, dinner's made at 6:00. Everybody eats at the table. They're praying. They're washing their hands, and there's just a different
Setting the
routine.
table.
Yeah, there's just and everybody's involvement. Everybody grabs a side dish,
Yeah.
and brings it to the table. I mean, so you start doing comparisons.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then it's like I don't want you to compare my operation
To
somebody else's.
But you don't think, and I don't think I don't think that's a bad thing, because it's nothing wrong with the comparison. But I think that's what happens as adults when people date or meet other people. They compare and they decide whether or not one is favorable than the other.
Right.
So thinking about dysfunction, like I had, so in my past relationship, I actually had a conversation my ex and I was talking, and he said to me one time, we was at dinner or lunch or something. I remember we were out, and he said to me that he wasn't sure that I was capable of being a nurturing mom, given the relationship that I had with my mother. And I said, well, why do you think that? And he just said, because, like, it's just not, you're not that close, so I don't know. And I was like, that's interesting, because granted, he knew, quite a bit about my relationship with my mom or my family, but it wasn't nothing that was tumultuous to me, that was just like I was hurting from it, or I didn't kind of like come at peace with it. I feel like I was more so the opposite of like, when I do have kids, I'm going to probably be overzealous in my nurturing versus like standoffish or not really present. So when I asked him, I said, well, that's interesting. I said, why do you feel that way? He said, because you didn't have a 2-parent household to see that, whereas he did. He had a mom, and his mom and his dad was together and married still. So I was like, but that's interesting, because your household was very abusive, as you mentioned to me, mentally.
Okay.
As far as the things that your dad has said to your mom and your mom have done to your dad. So then he started to understand, like, just because I come from a household where things took place don't mean that I may not want to do things in my future or with my family. Correct. He automatically assumed or count me out as being a capable mom.
Yeah, but I mean, what he did, it's like, I think that's what most people do. They think that you're going to repeat the behavior that you saw.
But I can say the same for him. In that case, like that, and
like
that's what I was getting at.
Right.
Yeah,
I understand what you're
so
saying,
it was just like, well, we're all imperfect people and come from, parents don't have a manual, and every person is different. So even if you did have a manual, they can't tell you how to raise a child that never was here before. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just like, but regardless, how can your mindset at this age in life teach you that because someone, it's like saying, oh, because you never had money before, you're not going to know how to manage money.
Okay.
Or, you never had this opportunity before, you're not going to understand or absorb this opportunity, or actually, create more opportunities. I just think that's very, like, a hasty thing to say. And, like, did you think critically about what you said? Like, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that people told you that you could not do.
Right. And I think it's just the fact that he probably hasn't firsthand observed it. So then, therefore, I don't know if this exists.
No, right. But that's true. But also at the same time, I had to make him aware that your functionality of family doesn't necessarily mean that it's healthy to me either. Because he felt more like
his was ahead.
Yes, ideal.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
He felt like his upbringing was more ideal than mine.
Right.
Therefore, he compared, and I was like, I actually think yours not as ideal, because you didn't see love in your household regardless. Like your mom, because his mom traveled for working, so his dad raised, his dad didn't work. So I said, you don't even understand, like, you don't even have the idea of what men do in households that normally do in households that work, because your dad didn't work, your mom did. So in my mind, I said, you're used to women taking care of the household. Do you feel that way? And all in all, there was a lot of similarities in, like, our relationship where he felt like the woman should take care of a lot more things. So when I told him that, he was just like, oh, I was like, yeah. Because he always said, I don't want to be my dad. He was exactly like his dad. So it was interesting. It was interesting for him, because I don't think he ever had to like face himself or like a mirror, because he felt like, again, his family situation was ideal.
Right, and I think I mean,
I mean, I just think it was
yeah.
really an uneducated thought process.
No, I think so. I agree with that, and I think you make it to a certain age, whether you're in a family or whether you're single or you're married, that you should reflect and actually critique your upbringing,
Right.
with a neutral eye. But that's difficult to do because we
But
love
he
our
did
mom, we
that.
love our.
He did. He would acknowledge some things,
Okay.
but not all, and he would
But
not
he
bring
still
it
thinks it's better than what she.
right.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because that's what the world tells you too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They said as long as you got, both parents in the same household, but if they're unhappy, it's all right. And they were still unhappy. Like he was like 36 years old. And like, your parents are still married and unhappy, and they have all grown kids. Are you okay with that? Like,
Yeah.
because I don't want both of my parents to be under the same roof and unhappy, because then I don't have actually healthy understanding of harmonious relationships. I have understanding of relationships that just cope with each other unhappily.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense? Like, it's not like no one's happy. We're just doing this because this is the commitment that we made, but we're not really happy in our full extent. So that can sometimes make someone stay in a situation that they don't belong in for a longer period of time, being unhappy, versus leaving a situation alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was an interesting discussion nonetheless. But I feel that the family dysfunction, like I mentioned, in last week's episode, was that sometimes they don't necessarily help, and that's why when I mentioned about dating people, I want to see how resistant or eager they are to changing what they already know, because I feel like that's a big part of a future with someone.
Right, and I think it goes back to what you said earlier, the way you package it. I mean, if you package it the right way, whether they're ready to make that change, but the way you drop the seed and the way you come back and water it, I think that's the way.
Package the information or package the
observation.
Oh, okay.
Right, the way you package and bring it to the man or the woman's attention.
Okay.
That's that's gonna be vital. Like, are you telling me this because you trying to change me to better serve you, or are you telling me this because it's gonna make me just a better person, whether I'm with you or without you?
Right.
And
that's a good. I didn't think of it that way. Okay. Yeah.
But people reach different maturities at different times.
That's true.
And everybody's not, ready to do self-evaluation and things like that to make them.
Or they're just not that compatible with you, and that's okay. Like, I went on a date the other day, and I was like, I'm okay with not being everybody's cup of tea. Like, I'm really okay with that. Like, I don't want to be everybody's cup of tea. Like, I don't want to have chemistry with everybody. Like, I don't think that should exist that way. So right. I don't understand why everybody wants everyone to like them or feel the same way.
Yeah.
I'm okay with people disliking me. I'm okay with someone saying, hey, she okay, but I'm good on her. Or some guy was like, oh, she all right. She's not wife material. I'm all right with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel the same way too sometimes about people, so it's no different.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and it just makes me think, because people think like that their system and their way is going to be the successful
it's ideal
way.
and top level and tier. Like,
Yeah.
everyone should follow it.
And it makes me like think like even like in football, Coach Belichick is like with New England Patriots. Yes, they're champions over the years.
I know nothing of this conversation.
But it's like he has a system. And he looks for players who's going to fit that system. No matter, you could be real talented, but if you don't fit that system, then you're going to find your way out the door.
Oh, wow.
So it's not about. So he's not going to adjust to a player's talent.
Wow, they got to adjust to him.
They have to adjust to the system.
Dysfunction.
But he comes out with rings, so then they would say, well, maybe the system. But
it only worked because the others have. Because you don't. Okay, I'm gonna let that go.
Yeah, I mean,
because I don't know the ins and outs. But you never know what the other variables are.
Yeah,
it may not just be him. Because he can't. He's not the team. He's just one person.
Players, but
yeah.
I mean, it's a combination of things, but and I think there's companies like that. It's like, you got to fit my company.
Yep, or else split.
Right.
Yep.
This is the way we run things, and if you don't want to, dress up, and you don't want to look this way and talk this way,
Or cater to this people or these people, or do as I
Yeah.
say and not as I do.
yeah,
I understand that.
Yeah.
So moving forward, we're going to talk about, since we're in a holiday party shenanigans situation, and we both got our red on for our
Yes.
our last podcast holiday party. Woo! I'm gonna need you to have some more sips though, David. Last week you talked about my cocktail. So this is what happened, guys. Last week he talked about my cocktail, and by the end of the show, of us recording, he was like, "Whoa, I'm feeling this drink." And I told him, I was like, "You going to feel it just because you don't taste it,
Yeah.
So now you over here apprehensive to sip on my cocktail, and it's a holiday party show. What's up with that?
I'm still in recovery.
Well, that's not my problem. Okay,
Yeah, I'll take.
you got to end it out with a bang.
Look at this peer pressure.
Hey, it's the holidays. Drink the whole bottle.
Right.
Speaking of whole bottle,
Yes.
should we discuss the do's and the don'ts of a holiday party?
Let's talk about the do's and the don'ts. But a lot of people think that there ain't no don'ts. It's all
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I got a lot of don'ts that people should. Should we start with the don'ts?
Oh yeah. I mean, go. Yeah, go either way.
Either way, okay.
Let's go.
We're gonna I'm gonna start with the don't. Right. What I'm gonna say is, first and foremost,
Okay.
don't embarrass yourself.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is this. And I'm gonna give you an array of scenarios, but the one in particular is, do not have too many drinks. Okay. Know your limit.
Okay.
Because we don't want you saying anything that you normally would not say under your cognizant work personality.
Yeah.
Okay? We don't want your alter ego to come out. We don't want you to talk about whatever it is that you didn't talk about that's personal, or whom you like in the office, or whom you dislike in the office, and how you feel, or whom you may have slept with or fantasized about. We don't want to hear that while you are intoxicated. Okay? So have a limit. Do not over drink. Sip slow and in moderation.
So, do you think you should have like someone, like a accountability partner?
You are your accountability partner at a damn. Are you serious? At a holiday party?
Hey.
Who gonna be a part? If there is a +1, then you can bring a +1 to say, "Hey, I might get a little this when you see me doing that. Take me away, or let's go." Blah blah blah. Whatever.
Okay.
If you're allowed a +1, then yes.
Because the tricky thing. So the tricky thing at most holiday parties, unless your company's cheap, it's an open bar.
Yes.
And
They do that on purpose.
Yeah, and people don't get to take advantage of open bars like this on a regular. And then sometimes they're like, I'm mad at my boss. I'm gonna drink as much.
Or they're gonna try to take advantage of all the free stuff they can get
stuff.
because
Right.
okay.
Yeah, so then that's what the discipline it could be difficult, but you don't want to be the person on the newspaper the next day.
But not newspaper. Understand that these people are not your friends. So if you throw
Okay.
up or act crazy, then they're gonna be like, "Ha ha ha, that was funny." The next day, that's gonna be a good story later down the line. No, your ass may get fired. Like, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
You don't know how forgiving the company will be, because we don't know what you're gonna say that they have to forgive or do. Yeah. So it's like, and this is not the time to talk about your coworkers or about the time to talk about office etiquette. You really need to keep it really classy. And I hate to say this because it's a party and you should loosen up, but you should loosen up within parameters that knowing your limit of alcohol intake and being inebriated, intoxicated, whatever, because I don't want you to start telling your cube mate about their smelly choices of food at lunchtime that you never liked. I don't want you to start talking about how you don't care about what people do on the weekend with their kids. I don't want you to talk about how the other person always talk about projects that they complete and before the time that's allotted to complete them. Like, we don't want you to be that
annoying person.
Yeah. Or not even annoying, we just don't want you to be that direct and assertive.
Yeah.
We want you to keep that professionalism while at the holiday party. And if you slept with somebody at the job, you got to be careful, because say you slept with Nancy, but Tanya like you too. then Tanya see you over there with Nancy, she gonna put it together. So
Yeah.
don't be over there flirting with Nancy when you know Tanya like you too, because then they both gonna have an argument about you sleeping with both of them, or they don't know if you sleeping with both of them, but one of them know that you're sleeping with one of them, and it may cause a fight.
Yeah.
Could you imagine having a fight about sleeping with somebody on a job at a holiday party? That'd be very, very unprofessional.
Okay.
And don't leave with anybody. Like don't leave.
I don't know about that one.
No, I think it's best that you all kind of like say, hey, I'm leaving in 5 minutes. Meet me here, and leave separately.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Don't leave. Yeah, I'm with you.
Don't let people.
them
Well, don't
see
let
you.
others
Don't
see
let
you.
other people
Yes.
see you.
Yes.
Leave with someone.
I stand corrected. Yes,
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I mean, you could do the okey doke. Oh, yeah, we're going to share Uber. We're going to share a taxi, but
But then that's still a talk. So you can still share a taxi or Uber, but just say, meet me around the corner. We can do it. I don't think you should let anyone see your actions.
yeah, you got to be discreet.
Yeah. What do you think?
But
What?
it's hard to be discreet. I mean, when you have a couple of drinks.
You're not as cognizant and interesting.
Yeah, and you got to know what type of drunk or, person who consumes a lot of alcohol, what do you become? Because some people become loud, some people become sleepy, some people could become aggressive.
Yes.
So it's like you have to know what do you become when you have too much drinks and kind of operate within those limits. But I do agree in terms of that the awareness, because I do think that there's some people that actually try to set others up in terms of like,
Oh.
I know that this person, I want to keep bringing drinks to this person.
Oh, they want them to begin gossiping so they can get everything that they can get out of. Wow.
I want them to show their tail. Yeah.
Wow.
Because you have people that are borderline showing their tails sober at
Before,
work.
right.
So it's like, let me get that person that's borderline.
They're doing this well before
Right,
we get
yeah.
to a party of any sort.
So I can give them a couple of drinks. I can get full juice and just let them go. So you got to be careful. And if you're that person, you got to, hey.
I mean, I have a good time at a holiday party. I'll probably be on the dance floor. I probably won't do too much inappropriate dancing or anything like that. But I'll have a good time because I feel like I'm a good time. But I don't think I would take it too far. Like, I think it'll be more so like, oh, wow, she can really loosen up versus like, it'll be different from my office etiquette or my office personality versus my holiday party.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, people use the holiday party as a blanket, as an umbrella to
Dismiss their behavior?
not just to do some things and say some things to some people that they didn't have the courage to do while sober. Like, even just, it could be, just a flirt. Hey, this girl, she's been working here for 4 months, I never really got a chance to talk to her. I want to talk to her at the holiday party.
It does. Yes, you're right.
So
you're
it's an
right.
opportunity.
Yes, because alcohol does like lower your inhibitions.
Okay.
Or heighten. Wait, which one? Heighten maybe. Okay. Alcohol causes this inhibition, I guess, right? So I guess it makes you feel more compelled to feel like you are able to say what's on your mind and speak your mind. So people kind of have like looser tongues, and it helped them with that social anxiety that you're mentioning.
Correct.
That makes them feel looser or more comfortable with saying how they feel. And you're looking at the person like, or say if somebody came, say your office crush or whomever you thought was single came with their actual boyfriend or something like that.
Right.
Like, do you know how much of a fight you can cause with somebody, another person's plus one?
Has anybody ever said anything like daring, or it could be daring, offensive, or just shocked you that they said that that
At a
normally,
holiday?
at a holiday party?
Not at a holiday party. They said it before a holiday party.
Okay.
They've said some things before, and I'll be like, oh, okay.
Like,
Or if it was like if I was leaving a job,
okay,
they have said like maybe
this is
say
their last shot.
Yeah, like right, like oh, I've always thought you were beautiful, or I always wanted to see where, and I was like, wasn't I? I'm with someone.
Right.
I usually lie.
And I think holiday party, but that's when people get in their shotgun information.
That's why I'm single, because I lie about my status.
And I think at holiday parties, that's when people get in their desperate and shotgun information, and they just try to throw that Hail Mary.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, well, I got to lose a holiday party. You know, we all drink, we all have a good time. Everybody's fence is lowered.
Yeah.
I might be able to penetrate this, and excuse me, the word penetrate, but I mean penetrate the
holiday
walls.
party after hours here.
Yeah, but there's penetrate the person's defense that they've been putting up at work this whole time. Oh, I didn't, it's hard to even get to you. You're working in a different department. It's hard to get to you because you're always busy. But this is my chance to take my shot because it's a holiday party and you can't go nowhere and all. And
so, we're in the same room and we're supposed to have a good time.
Right.
I mean, with that, I can understand. But I just think there's some etiquette that you need to maintain regardless of where you are, especially when you have to work with these people. And that's just really being still professional. Like, people think a holiday party is a gateway to be unprofessional or show your friendly side like you would with your 13-year friendship with your best bud from high school or middle school. No. This is your job's company party. You should be on your best behavior just as you would be at work. And I hate to say it like that because unless you work for like one of those companies where they are already out of control and have a good time, you need to keep it together.
I know one no or don't do.
Okay.
Do not flirt with the boss's spouse.
Oh, that's different. So you don't know sometimes. And I was going to say that.
Right.
See, I was going to say, actually, I think there's two sides of the coin because as a dude, I think you should network and talk to everyone that's not within your close proximity at your office, because the company party may include other people that not necessarily at the same location as you, but you never know who exactly you're talking to and their status at the company and what they know about you as well, or they're connected to the boss. So you may have a conversation with a boss wife and not know because you never see any pictures. You didn't know. So I hope that when you network, you should not be that drunk or had too many drinks and intoxicated, because she can take or he can take that back to that person.
Yeah.
But networking, I would say do network, because then if you did have some good ideas about the company and ask some questions, they can take it back to that person and they may look at you in favor.
Okay.
So both sides of the coin can determine your future at this company. Make better decisions here.
Better decisions. Yeah.
So I think that's why I think, like, although it's a holiday party, a company holiday party that's sponsored with hors d'oeuvres out the yin yang and alcohol fluidly pouring and just, hey, do it up, people. I think you need to actually be more cognizant than people actually do at holiday parties.
I think some people treat holiday parties like it's prom.
A prom.
like I'm gonna get dressed up.
Not prom.
And I'm getting laid tonight.
Not laid. Oh my
gosh. These I'm honest. That's what some people.
I don't. If people go to office holiday parties, I mean, wasn't there a movie called Holiday Party, and it was like out of control. Like they were like swinging from the ceilings and. That company already had, like, they were crossing so many barriers of Me Too's, and the boss was like, it was already talking like, it was like a lot of stuff going on at that holiday party that was unethical, because there was a lot of unethical things going on site at the job. So
one thing that I do like that my job does, and I would think that most new age jobs are doing, like, if you're serving alcohol. Mm-hmm. And at the holiday party for liability purpose, you should pay for your employees' ride home.
Oh, you mean you should give them the courtesy of being the designated driver too?
Or no, you don't have to be the.
Well, that is being a designated driver, because you get them. You're trying to get a Lyft or Uber or some sort of.
You should make sure that they make it home.
Incentive to.
Right.
Wow.
I know.
That's a lot of responsibility. See, that's what I mean.
But
that's not their responsibility.
You said what?
That's not their responsibility.
But then you're serving the alcohol. It's your event. You don't have no bartender that's cutting them off.
That's true.
So you have provided the alcohol to them with no limit.
So you're saying if this is a open bar all night, all the time part, then they should provide designated drivers.
If we're just going to happy hour and the person's paying for their own stuff, and
they should know their limits.
Yeah, and that's on them because they got themselves drunk. But however, because I made the alcohol available to you,
not
I got you
No,
drunk.
David.
Okay.
No, I mean, I think that would be great for a holiday party to include that as an incentive, given that it's only once a year. But then it's like, which would you choose? A great open bar or a 3-hour open bar and that incentive to get you home safely? Because they can't afford everything.
Right.
So the venue, the food, the drinks, like
they can't afford
the
that
prizes.
lawsuit that's gonna come with.
And nobody gonna have a lawsuit other than themselves. If you go out of if you go out any part or any bar and you had too much to drink and you get pulled over, it's because you consumed too much. You know, say, well, officer, I went to a holiday party and they gave me too much alcohol. You chose to drink that amount of alcohol.
It's a work event, and it's labeled a work event.
No,
because it's a work.
That's
event.
not how the law recognizes
that's how it's
it.
gonna work. Trust me.
Right.
Trust me. That's how it's gonna work. And next week I'll probably bring an article that supports that.
Okay.
Because there's no way in the world that
show me the proof
that you can provide alcohol to all these people at their leisure and not take responsibility for what happened, the actions that happened.
And then but they may do. So if something happened and someone say, "Hey, I can't work because I got a DUI" or something like that, they're gonna say, "All right, from here on out, I'm not gonna have any more open bar at the holiday parties. Annually, we're gonna have it now that it's only 2 hours, and then that's gonna run for everybody who can handle their liquor."
I don't know if companies care about the DUIs. They more care about an accident.
Okay, whatever. It was an accident.
Like something happens to where the employee could come back and sue. They should have cut me off.
Employee can cut back and sue from an accident?
Yes, they should have cut me off. They knew I had too many drinks.
Wait. This is something new. You can sue an employer because of an accident that you had by consuming too much alcohol at the holiday party. I don't think that's in writing. That's not the law, David.
I think that's the law.
When you're under the influence, they attack the driver who's under the influence, not the party that they came from.
So say it again.
They attack you. No. The driver will take responsibility for being under influence and a wreck.
I'm talking about you're driving drunk. You're the employee. You're driving as well.
Yes, but if you get into an accident, you are going to take responsibility for that, not the party that you came from that you consumed.
But then
500.
The employee could bring the employer into it as a third party. I was at your event, employer.
So you're going to sue them for, what is that called? Punitive damages? Can you sue? Is that called punitive? I don't know. I know the term.
I'm going to sue you. I'm sure it's probably some type of tort law. I'm going to sue you.
Or maybe tort, tort laws are insane.
Because you provided me access in an abundance without no limits.
And they can argue, like, what is the difference if you walked into any other party? New Year's Eve, prime example. New Year's Eve. Everybody gets wasted on New Year's Eve. There's cops lined up waiting for people to get wasted so they can pull them over. So then you're going to blame every party that they went to get...
No.
Exactly. It's the same situation.
No, you're not... No, it's the reason why, because you purchased it.
I am appalled.
You were the consumer. There's only one consumer in this incident, and that's the employer.
No,
they bought all the drinks.
No.
Consumer.
That's not how consuming. That's not consumption work. That's not how consumption work. The consumer is you. You have consumed the amount of alcohol that have taken you to the legal limit of intoxication. Not the employer. The employer is giving the employer has enough alcohol to serve a room full of people. They're not giving one person 12 bottles.
Who was overseeing
the restaurant?
The venue. Who was overseeing the servings to these people?
No.
I mean, it's not. It's
no one are, because no one's keeping track as of grown adults. As long as you're of drinking limit age, you have to drink responsibly because you know that you're a drinking age limit.
Isn't it against the law to serve someone
underage?
But knowing that they're already drunk.
Knowing that they're drunk, yes, that means you can't walk into a bar drunk.
Okay.
Now they can cut you off, yes.
But there's no cutoffs at the holiday party.
Well, who's to say that they're actually walking up there asking for a drink? Say you and I at the holiday party, and I say, "Hey, David, when you go up there, can you give me one too?" I may not even show my face, but I'm wasted. How do they know? You gonna have somebody coming around and monitoring like this is like a 6th grade class?
Yeah,
a teacher's assistant.
You have to at least put the offer out there. Hey, everyone, I have these free Uber credits, whatever.
I think that's a great
credits.
incentive, but I don't think it should be on the company's fault to make sure that you get home safely. I think it's a great incentive to make sure that they care about their people if they're going to have that type of party. But I think it's also up to the person who's consuming that amount of alcohol to know their limits. I don't think it's fair that you just negate their limits and think that you have to be responsible for their safety home. Because if
Okay.
when I've been drunk plenty of times, if I'm drunk and I say I can't drive home, well, thank God we have Uber now, because when I was going in college, we didn't have Uber. You can now just like sit around and sober up, take a quick nap or something. I don't know, go in your car, sleep it out. The thing is, I don't understand why people try to drive intoxicated. Like, go to sleep
But
in your
it's
car.
not even just driving. It's like if I walk outside, let's say I'm going to just walk home, and I slipped on the curb.
Wait,
And
so
hit my head.
You want to blame them for how much alcohol you had because you slipped on the
I'm
curb?
not saying this is what I'm going to
Oh my
do.
gosh,
I'm
David.
saying there's a vehicle to sue the employer back, and there's a high probability that they will win.
I wonder if there are any cases like
Absolutely. That's the only reason why they will have this policy to start paying for people's Ubers.
I don't know.
Because there has to have been some incidents where the employer got sued because he provided
Because of
all this
that.
stuff. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have to figure that out.
Yeah,
but
I'll start the new year off next year with the stats with the
with the drinking stats.
Yeah, with the
Okay, thank you so much.
Let me ask you this question. So, what is the worst Christmas gift that you ever received from your partner?
Oh my gosh. It was probably some shoes, like some kitten heels, no sling back. It was open in the back. It was stars on them that sparkled, and I had a matching purse, like clutch, to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, why would you give me this? I was very honest about disliking the gift.
Okay.
I said, why would you give me this?
And
They didn't have an answer. I was like, I don't know. What is it? You've known me. You know, I have never worn anything like this or anything similar. I cannot accept this gift. I said that. I know it may seem really rude. But I
cannot deny. Okay.
I said, this is not, like, I was more so, I think I was so upfront and honest because I felt more insulted that you have known me this amount of time and you would give me such a gift that looked like you would have, that somebody's like, oh, auntie would wear. Like,
Okay, so if I'm in a relationship with you, Christmas is coming up, I should ask you, what do you want? Or should I just know and just go out there and take
I
a
think
chance?
it should be both. So how I operate for Christmas is I give people a gift that they may have asked for or that they have requested or mentioned, and then I get them something that I think they were like and aligned with something they have mentioned throughout the year.
Good.
So I think, no, if you are confused about getting someone something, just ask them or pay attention. I actually gave this scenario to a friend recently. I said, hey, because people always get like anxiety when it comes to shopping around the holiday times. I said, you typically know what someone wants well before Christmas, but you don't write it down. I said, what you should start doing is open up your tab in your phone. We have smartphone and dumb people, as we all know. Create a list. People on your Christmas list. Put their names all in there. As you start talking to them throughout the year, they may say, I really would like this camera lens. I really would like this for this. And it don't even have to be what they want for Christmas, but something that they said that they wanted. So that way you're still hitting the nail on that, sitting the hammer on the net, whatever. I don't know the analogy. Anyway, I had too many cocktails, too many touch to drink now. You still know or getting them a gift that they will accept. Yeah. Because they have mentioned that it's something that they want, whether or not. Even when you ask people what they want for Christmas, they were like, oh, I can't think. A lot of people can't think of. They just start saying expensive things just to say it. But it's sometimes not the actual things that they have said all year. Does that make sense? Like, they'll just say like, what do I want? I always forget what I want around Christmas time. It's the weirdest thing.
So then, have you ever purchased a gift for someone for Christmas and they rejected? Are they?
Nope.
Like, oh,
I'm the best gift giver in the entire world. No one has ever rejected any of my gift. Well, that I know of anyway.
So
no, I've been told that I'm a really good gift giver.
Is it because you saying because you listen or
yes,
you're creative?
Absolutely. That's because clearly I'm giving this advice because I've always hit it right. I've always knocked it out of the park with my friends or anything because they have mentioned it. And I think it's just because I'm really observant and I listen to what they say or they do. Because think about it. You know how many times I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm actually going to this concert. Or, yeah, I'm actually checking out this paint site. People tell you what they're going to do probably often, and you just don't even recognize that's something that they're interested in.
That's true. So, and then have you ever been like, okay, you gave a gift and he gave a gift, and how can I put it? Like, I want to say outdone
Each other or try to outdo each other.
Well, not even just, have you ever been outdone?
Yeah, I have been outdone.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I have been outdone. I was surprised though because I'm not typically outdone because I'm more of a personalized person. So I think one of my gifts involved their name engraved on like this this alcohol. You know how like people hold like alcohol in canisters, like brown liquor. So like if they have it in like, you know, those little canisters that sit on the bar that's glass. So I was able to get their last name engraved in as if it was their own. So I typically like personalized gifts. So if you like a type of spirit, I may get that for you for your bar or a few glasses. So I feel like there's always a gift you can give someone, even if you don't know them.
True. Okay.
Like for a long period of time. Because I know I've heard people say all the time, I don't know that person that well. Or even if dating someone soon, you don't have to give someone a gift that necessarily is something they ask for. It can get something that you can be like, so say we went to a taco spot, right? And that was like our first date or something. You can actually give me a taco maker or something. You know, like something so simple as that. It's just like, oh, this reminds us of our first date. But that's thoughtful.
Let's say we've been dating for 10 months.
Oh, real gift alert.
Yeah, we've been we've been dating for 10 months. And as Christmas came, and I just got you a gift card.
No.
Would you be upset with that?
No, yeah, I would be upset with that.
Do you feel gift cards as not putting any effort?
Yes, I do. Yep.
So then let's talk about the tiers of gifts in terms of
let's do it.
We've been together 3 months, 6 months.
Okay.
You know.
How long you've known someone if you're dating them and the
so
level of gifts.
Do you give based on time or the way you feel about the person? Because you could feel
both.
Real strong about somebody in 2 months.
It depends really on that person. So if you're a person that wears like a designer stuff, I'm not giving you no designer stuff. That's an investment.
Okay, you're not gonna give me a designer stuff if we only been together for 3 months.
Yeah, like $600 3 months. Have you spent that much money on me in 3 months?
I got you. No, I'm not doing that.
Let's think about that. Like, no.
Okay.
And then it's like, are we being thoughtful? Or we're just giving you something because you like that.
Okay. So are you?
Unless you said, hey, I really want this Gucci belt, and I gave you a gift card to go towards your Gucci belt. Unless you mention it, but I feel like I can get you another gift that will suffice. That's not your personal vice.
Right. So does that go back to you saying that Christmas time people want to ask for bigger things that they normally
that they won't buy themselves.
Okay.
Sometimes, or that they need additional help with buying for themselves. So I think that it should all determine in just really being something that's more so thoughtful, not something that's necessarily grand or a lot of money. It can be an experience. It don't even have to be a gift. It can, in the sense of like, it can be like, hey, I know that you like ice skating, so I took us going to ice skating. I'm going to get hot chocolate. Like, I don't know, but people don't necessarily need like grand 12-karat jewelry necklaces, you know, or diamond necklaces or earrings, or I don't know.
Do you get upset if the person doesn't use your gift? Like, you gotta.
Yeah, I will get upset because I feel like I put a lot of thought into it. Like, I'm not giving you a gift that I wanted for you. I'm getting a gift that you may have mentioned or closely related. So I think the gift will be utilized. And I want the honest feedback back. I'm like, do you really like this? I want that feedback.
True. Right. Yeah.
Because if you lie about a gift, they're gonna keep giving you the gift. I don't want the same gift that I don't want.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I know you like these.
Yeah. I knew that you liked this last year, so I got you this again. You like,
I got you in black.
Then you gotta realize you lied the whole year ago about a gift that you really didn't want. Just be upfront.
Gotta be upfront.
Yeah.
I mean, it's your
what about you? Have you got something that you did not like, and how did you handle that? Or
I'm like you. I'm kind of direct. Like, I almost like
what I even
do some preliminary, like, you know,
shifting out of. Yeah. So what? How does that? What does that look like?
Because I would reject a meal if you cook something I don't like. I reject that. So you believe that I'm gonna reject, you know, a Christmas gift. I mean.
Wow, you are ruthless, man.
But
cutthroat.
But sometimes For most cases, like somebody may give me something to try and like buy me a shirt. Normally, I wouldn't wear that color, but I tried and it worked out. It was a hit,
Well,
So-
that's different. That's getting you
Right.
outside of your normalcy versus something
Right.
that you just like was like, oh no, this is
So there's a side of me that's open to getting outside my comfort zone.
Okay.
But for most cases, like my wife knows to give me something that I want.
well. I think that's everyone's intention.
But she does like you, and I do. You get me what I want, but then you also get something what you think that what you want.
I want to give
Yeah.
you.
And
That's what she does.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
she
I think
does.
that's good. Yeah.
Right. And that's what I'm doing this year too, as well.
I'm
Yeah.
good. I'm glad
Yeah.
you're adapting it. But have you received a gift that was absolutely like, this is unacceptable? No, I don't want it. Please give me the gift receipt now. Get your money
not
back.
Not from a girlfriend or spouse, but from my mom. Yeah.
What was
she
it?
Said I was ungrateful. She gave me a turtleneck one year, and I don't wear turtlenecks. At least at the time.
That's
And
all? It was just a turtleneck?
It was weird, but I just said no. As soon as I opened the box, I said, no, Mom, I don't want this. Right. Like,
What was her face? What did
close
she
it back
say?
up. What?
What did she say?
Open it. Oh, I said, oh, sorry, Mom, I don't wear turtlenecks. Close it back. Here
No,
go.
you did not.
Yeah. I was probably like 17 years old, too. Yeah. So I
Oh,
was
you
probably
really only ungrateful.
Like a senior in high school. Yeah, and that was the last time she
You're too
probably
cool for school.
bought me a Christmas gift. But so let's. I want to hear about some bad gifts from our audience.
Okay.
Some rejection. That's kind of bold to reject, but sometimes you got to do it.
Yeah, I guess we're going to have to pose this question on our social media because next year we come back. We're not
Next year
going to
we
be talking
come back.
about bad gifts anymore. It's going to be a whole new year.
Yeah, so post it on social media, but I will come back with some liability, talk about some work, and is that a good practice to pay for your coworkers or for your employees if you're sponsoring an event and it's going to be
Yeah.
a lot of alcohol?
And don't get too intoxicated at that office party unless it's the person that you can go home with, that you've been going home with.
Make sure your closing game is correct.
Closing game?
If you see her, hey, bag her.
What are you talking about? If you see her, what?
Nothing.
No, what was that?
You guys have a holly jolly Christmas.
Or a wonderful holiday, whatever you celebrate. And again, you know how to reach us on Work Spouse Pod on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We are there. Reach out to us. Tell us your thoughts. So until next year, 2020.
All right, coworkers.
All right,
Hey,
coworker.
I'm D'Angela.
And I'm David, and we're work spouses. Yep, you heard it right, but not the type that you're thinking of.
We realize you spend more time with people at work than you do with the people you love most.
We're going to discuss the interactions such as the games played at work, building the right and avoiding the wrong relationships. D'Angela and I, we're currently work spouses.
Join us each week as we testify, help, and complain about work in corporate America.